A very shocking state of affairs in the state of West Bengal, particularly in Kolkata. Adwaita Kala, who's a noted author, is with us on the broadcast. We also have with us right now Kailash Adhikari, who's a political analyst. Adwaita, I remember how moved and disturbed you were about the attacks against minorities in Bangladesh. And here you have an incident of violence against a woman, the death, the very tragic and barbaric death of this young trainee doctor. What are your thoughts about what you're getting to see, what you're hearing from the streets of Kolkata?
It's a profound sense of despondency because it has been so many years since Nirbhaya happened.
Yes.
And, commission sat and there were rules, laws made and all of those things that took place. And yet what we're seeing in real time is a miscarriage of justice, being unfolding in front of us. And we're helpless. There's nothing we can do except protest and come on these shows and discuss it till the next one. And this is the deep sense of sadness that I feel right now, even when I was looking at the young girls who are, doing the Reclaiming the Night walk or sit-in. They must have been children when Nirbhaya took place. And yet a whole new generation of women are going through the same emotions, the same fatigue, fear, and there's nothing that we can do. So it's a profound sense of helplessness.
Absolutely. Kailash, if I may ask you this question, the word that Adwaita has just mentioned, helplessness, it's deeply frustrating, to be witness to another incident which carries these similarities with a very barbaric rape of Nirbhaya in the year 2012. I remember I had covered those protests as well. And yet, cut to 2024, we are seeing a repeat of that. How frustrating. This obviously speaks of just nothing being done or things not being taken seriously. Is it because of the weak laws that exist in our country? What is it? Because those culprits were hanged. That perhaps would have acted as a deterrence, but clearly not.
As you rightly said, it is deeply frustrating. Yesterday at the stroke of midnight, India entered into its 77th year of independence. And I think our hearts should be filled with sorrow that even after 77 years of being independent, our society has to witness all this. It is deeply frustrating, as you said, and the kind of march and the protest that we saw yesterday, there is angst amongst the people. And coming to the topic of law, laws are there, but law does not operate individually or in silos. It is law and order.
Yes.
There are laws, but order means the implementation of that law. Somewhere we falter in the proper implementation of that law. Here, there are people on the streets. We are a young India right now. We are not an India or we are not citizens who can be just merely fooled by theatrics or histrionics. No, we need justice. And even after, like in 2012, as you said, that we witnessed the horrific incident of Nirbhaya and we still have to see this. This is a sad state of affairs. The state of West Bengal, has treated it very callously, and the kind of action that they should get into, they have not got into at all.
Absolutely. Stay on with me. Professor Dinesh Varshney is also joining us on the broadcast. Professor Varshney, where are we going wrong? We saw similar outpouring of grief, of very outrageous reactions, anger, frustration in 2012. I remember that incident so clearly, like every Indian does. Today on the 78th independence, unfortunately, we are still talking about those same emotions, that same frustration and those same issues. Where is it that we are failing?
Look, we are failing in one aspect, and that is we are not able to sensitize our society toward the respect to the women and develop the feelings against that we should see to it that the society should understand that crime against women will not be tolerated. And this becomes a problem when lawmakers become the lawbreakers. The problem is this Calcutta incident, this person who had done it has a state patronage. This type of patronage has to be abandoned. This type of patronage, whosoever is the political party in the government, whichever the political party is there, has to take away these type of element out from their parties. No shelter to them. Otherwise, you are a party of a lawmaker and a lawbreaker. And that will become a problem. You have to stop this. Second thing is, we have to develop these feelings among the students from the primary level. I met a 5-year-old girl. My nephew touched that girl by mistake by giving her chula to a wrong spot. She said, no, this is a wrong touch.
Okay.
5-year-old girl played. So this has, but you are like my father, she said. But this has to be taught from the primary
All
level.
right.
But overall understanding of the society has to be changed that women is not a commodity. Women is an equal partner. That has to be developed. Unfortunately, in the capitalist world, it is not possible.
Advaita,
Because-
but yes, sir, if I may just, right, I heard your point, and you're right, you know, there needs to be more emphasis on sensitization, spreading awareness, education, Advaita, but India has come a long way. I mean, I was hoping that so much would have changed since 2012. Unfortunately, an incident like this has once again brought us back to talking about that horrific rape of Nirbhaya. And it's not just this incident. Every day, every week, we are getting to hear, you know, stories of barbarism, atrocities committed on women. What are your thoughts? What do you think perhaps, you know, needs to be done on a war footing with immediate urgency?
See, you know, atrocities against women are as old as history is. You know, this
Fair
has been a
enough.
part of human history. But what we have today is modes and means of policing, which
Yes.
never existed earlier. We had no such thing as a CCTV camera even 20 years ago. Now, despite having this sort of technological advantage for the first time in human history, we're still not able to create systems and procedures that protect women. And this really comes down to the lack of political will. And I think Professor Vashni has been alluding to the fact that there is some political involvement in this case. And I want to expand on that because I think that is really where the problem starts. The fact that the golden hour was lost, the family was not informed on time, and when they were informed, they were told it was a suicide. When the young lady was actually found undressed. Now, who commits suicide or kills themselves by suicide, as it's now said? By undressing first. So there are a lot of things. We don't know for certain exactly what happened to her, what kind of brutality she experienced. Was it from one rapist or was it a gang rape? These are all questions up in the air. And I firmly believe if the police wanted to solve something like this in a closed environment like a hospital, it wasn't on any street, it wasn't a stranger situation, the police could have solved this in 24 hours, in less than 24 hours. But they didn't. A hospital is alive and functioning in the middle of the night, unlike other places of work. But they haven't done it. The question we have to ask is, why have they not done it? And Mamata Banerjee, being a woman herself, should be extra careful and extra vigilant about this. But instead, what we have seen through time is her ability to victim shame, you know, be it in Sandesh Khali, be it with the gang rape on Park Street, be it with the minor who was raped. So this kind of lack of empathy for the woman, for the girl, from a female politician, we fight so much for women to get into politics, but then you see a woman at the top reacting like this. It's very, very disappointing. How can we blame anybody else?